Hello there.
This is a bittersweet ending, man. We are up to the finale of Masters of the Air, and it's only episode 9. I feel like this miniseries could have gone beyond the usual 10 episodes we are accustomed to from Band of Brothers in the Pacific, and this, miniseries is shorter than that. It's only 9 episodes. However, this finale itself is an hour 20 minutes, so I'm looking forward to that. But at the same time, I feel like this show picked up some great momentum. I was just getting into it, and it's gonna be cut short. Like, I thought this show, actually, in my opinion, I feel like could have used 12 to 15 episodes. I feel like it could have covered that much ground. And yeah, I've had my criticisms of Masters of the Air, and you guys certainly have had your criticisms of the show. Listen, I think it's still a great show. There are some people in the comment section that outright despise this show and told me not even to watch it as I was watching The Pacific. However, I sat down, watched it. Yeah, I had my gripes in the first couple of episodes, but listen, this show grew on me, and I'm absolutely loving it at the moment, and it's a shame we are already up to the finale. What's going on, guys? My name is Elie Moses, a 24-year-old law and film student here from Sydney, Australia, absolutely shooting his shot, and today we are up to part 9 of Masters of the Air. We have been watching this series for the very first time. Let's hope we can end on a high note. Let's get into the reaction. Let's have some fun with this thing. Let's smash it. Let's go.
By the first few weeks of 1945, we were closing in on the Third Reich from all sides. In the west, the Allies were storming into Germany.
Woo!
In the east, the Russians were approaching the Oder River. And in the sky, the 8th Air Force flew uncontested. We were the true masters of the air.
Major, we have damage here. 4 oxygen bottles are ruptured. We only have 6 in reserve. Roger. Keep an eye on it, Doug. Rockets, incoming! AC-1's on fire. Shutting her down.
Crosby talked about them flying uncontested, but
That's it. She's out.
I'm pretty sure flak is still some contention. It can cause so much damage. Unless it's talking about a different squad.
Bombs away. All good, Luke. Looks like you boys are taking over. Roger that. We're taking the lead. I'm gonna take the ship, okay? Roger. I'm gonna try to get us across the Russian lines where we'll be safe. Yes, sir. Your ship, Rosie.
I trust Rosie in this situation, of course.
Should we bail? Not yet. We're not going down in Berlin. Come on, come on, come on.
Might be forced to bail here. There's only so much you can do.
Major, left wing is shredded. We're almost there. Go, go, go.
This has been a fantastic opening for the finale. Sensational. I mean, anything with Rosie's great stuff anyway. Jean's still hanging in there. Okay, he kept it going for as long as he could. Oh damn, he landing right. Oh, he landed right between the lines. Hey, he did it. He did as best as he could. Hopefully the Russians recognize him. Did he break his leg or his knee?
American! Roosevelt! Stalin! Coca-Cola! Roosevelt!
Damn, that could have gone a lot worse if they were trigger happy. This is the story I'm most interested in for the final episode, the POWs.
30 minutes! Goons gave us 30 minutes to be at the front gate. 2,300 hours, then we march. They won't say how far for how long.
30 minutes. Jesus. Pack it up, let's go.
I'm gonna try to show as much of this finale as I can.
I don't know. Alice must be close. How you doing?
Would have preferred it if the Russians made it here first.
You're not thinking of running, are you? You're not thinking of running, are you?
Hey, where's my boy Lieutenant Macon, man? I love him.
Yeah. Airball.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah. Come, los. Well, who the hell knows if we're gonna get this kind of food again, you know?
Could be your last meal, you never know.
Will be shot. Please do not try.
It's the Russians! They're close! That's gotta be the Russians!
Yeah!
We're going!
Damn, a 20-mile march thus far. Is there any reason they decided to march the POWs further west? Did they not want them to get caught in the crossfire with the Russians, or did they just not want them to be rescued?
Fuck, he warned you not to fucking say it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, I need the reunion with the boys, man.
If anything at all, you let me know, okay? Thanks, Bill. Huh?
I don't know, Crosby, have you?
Now, from here on out, you're gonna keep that equipment hut opened and manned until wheels up, plus 30 minutes. Yes, Major?
Yes, Major.
Yes, Major!
Yes, Major.
All right. You're the man. Clean up. Let's go.
48-mile march still. Damn. I just wanted to, oh, really? I clicked the space bar to click pause, and that happens yet again. The same mistake as it's not a mistake. It's just I don't know what's wrong with Apple TV at the moment. I want to talk about the aspect ratio choice for this show, and I talked about it earlier on in episode 1 and 2, and I immediately mentioned how I feel like the 16:9 aspect ratio makes for a more immersive experience. And I want to theorize that maybe they decided to use this aspect ratio because of the budget constraints and because of what happened during the pandemic and how that kept delaying filming and stuff like that. And obviously we've seen in the show thus far, some of the visual effects themselves have been subpar, in my opinion. You guys could say, you know what, they're actually great. Like, listen, at points, they're absolutely fantastic. But at other points, I feel like they're really noticeable. And yeah, they're not up to standard for the amount of money possibly spent on this show. Now, I reckon maybe the aspect ratio was utilized. They decided to avoid the 16:9 aspect ratio, maybe possibly for the VFX department, because obviously with the wider frame and with covering the entire screen, that's just more VFX work, I feel like. And yeah, you have to basically include much more visual effects in the image itself. So basically by condensing the aspect ratio, I guess maybe it was a thing to obviously help the VFX artists not do as much work, and maybe they were constrained for time, and obviously they wanted to release the show. And listen, hence the decision to cut it down to 9 episodes is go. Let's get it out there as quick as possible, and no more delays. That's just my theory. Obviously, I think with the marching as well is get them to a safe location. The possibility for Germany to potentially still hold their ground and interrogate them and continue to interrogate them and get valuable information. Now, that's not a good sign for the morale.
Thank you.
That's that Why We Fight episode in Band of Brothers.
Für Blut und Wunden! Steht auf und zollt unseren heldenhaften Kriegern Respekt! Alle klar!
Kinder und Alte. Alles kaputt.
Even they know they're on their last stand.
Not exactly how we thought, has it? Not exactly. You wish you'd done it differently? Can't say I would have. You? I wasn't planning on getting shot down. You know, I really did believe that if there was only 2 B-17s left, it'd be you and me flying.
The last one standing.
Last few years would have been a lot rougher without you, John. Sam.
I still can't get over the Austin Butler reveal at 2 a.m. 2 o'clock, sorry.
Yeah, you get where we are. Nuremberg! Nuremberg is fucking Nuremberg.
Calm down.
I've been dead.
It's all right, son.
I'm guessing this is where the concentration camps were held, or like one of the areas. Because Solomon himself was like, I'm a dead man.
We're in the heart of their fatherland now, boys.
I wish we got more of the Tuskegees, man. I think they're great characters.
Gail? Gail! Gail Clever. Jesus, I'll be. George, how the hell are you?
Long way from home.
Oh my God. Hey, this is George Neathammer. John, only guy I've ever met knows more about baseball than you do. Yeah, right? Which team? Yankees, you? Cubs. There's always next year.
Chicago.
So I'll see if we can find you boys some tents with some fires going. I'm warning you, most of them don't.
That's okay. Happy enough to just get out of the snow.
That's a little morale booster.
Do you mind if I stretch my legs?
Он хочет размять ноги.
Давай, давай.
Oh, he done his shoulder, or dislocated his shoulder, broke his shoulder, or collarbone. I thought it was his knee when he first landed. As soon as you hear them talking about the smell, you know what this place is. No matter how many iterations we get of this event and how many forms of media have depicted this event, it's just horrific every time. Horrific every time. And I think the actor who plays Rosie, forgot his name, has done a fantastic job this series, but I think this is his best acting this episode thus far. That raw emotion of discovering the camp. Then obviously you have the fantastic use of wide shots and the overhead aerial shot right there as well. Is Rosie himself Jewish? I could be wrong, but
We found many of these camps. Everyone's already dead and burned before we arrived.
There's more of them?
Yes. Our comrades found even bigger camps than this. They were built for killing people, many people at a time. Poles, Russians, mostly Jews.
Можно ехать! Дорога свободна!
The wagon, it is clear we can resume. Stay here, Major, and I will find out when's the next plane for Moscow leaves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
He says his family are all dead, buried in his village. He said he buried them himself with the other villagers the Germans killed. The Germans, they ordered him to fill in the ditch. Somewhere in there, his wife, his daughter, his grandchildren.
damn, man.
So he takes the shovel. To live, one must make choices.
Where will he go now?
Wie wird jetzt gehen?
Mizrach, sie sagen Palästina.
Major, the plane to Moscow is boarding.
Geh mit Gott. Das ist nur Gott. Hat mich vergessen.
He says if God exists, he has forgotten him.
Yeah, I knew by just his emotion and hearing God, he was, questioning his existence at the moment.
Not even the earth that covers our bones will remember us.
Major! Major, we must go! Come, hurry! Давай, давай! Давай, let's go.
Another 2 months have passed. They've been planning a sort of breakout for a while now, but they just have never had the chance. P-51, one of theirs.
Clements! We told you we had to stop marching at night. We're being attacked by our own goddamn planes. It's not safe. We told you. It's not safe. It's not goddamn safe. We told you.
John, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm in. We make a run for it tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Calm down
finally...
before they put a bullet in your head.
They're finally going to greenlight the escape. Or attempted escape.
According to Jefferson's map, there's a forest a few miles northwest. If we make it that far, we should be pretty well covered.
Well, we'll make it that far.
What about Macon and the boys, man? Jefferson.
Take advantage of the confusion while we still can.
Over that wall.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
I hope George doesn't get shot here.
All right, go. Go.
All right. Keep going. I'm right behind you.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Go, Bud! Get out of here! Da waren noch mehr von denen! Es schießt sie! Release that man! Now! Jetzt! Let him go! You touch one hair on his head, you'll have a riot! Was ich sage! Hat versucht zu fliehen, wir können ihn nicht einfach gehen lassen! This is one of my senior officers! He is essential! Sergeant, order your man to release Major Regan. Now.
Hier gibt's nichts zu sehen, bewegt euch! Los!
Na los, Leute! What the hell was that all about? George, Bill, and Buck. I went over that wall.
Oh, they made a run for it.
You hear that? Sounds like GMC's.
Bucky gets caught up again.
treaty.
I've been so locked in this episode. Like, locked in. The white horse tainted with blood, man. Come on. Come on with the symbolism, man. Oh, crap. Where are the boys? Oh. They're just kids, man.
Fine. Bitte. Bitte.
Good.
George ain't gonna make it.
Fucking kids.
We gotta go, Buck. Buck.
They didn't even have any goddamn bullets.
I would have kept the Luger just in case as well. You never know where it could come in use. Even if it's got no bullets.
He's back. Major Rosenthal made it.
Yo, Rosie's goated, man. My guy always got to make the Avengers type entrance. Damn, that shoulder injury must have healed up real quick.
Same C-46 to a place called Elidane, which is a Brit base, and then up through Athens, and then Rome, and Naples. And then...
Oh, that would have had time to heal by then.
we got transferred to Winston Churchill's personal converted B-24 Luger. I kid you not. For the flight back to St. Marcus. How are you? Hmm? How's Jean? She's pregnant.
Yo! My guy wasted no more time.
I'm gonna be a father.
He said, Sandra, forget about her.
You kidding me? Mm-mm. Props.
Congratulations.
My guy went straight to work. He wasted no time on that R&R.
Yeah. That's a good thing, right?
Yes.
All right. Are you sure?
Yes. Reminds me of this quote I read at college from Nietzsche. He said, "Whoever fights monsters should take care not to become a monster himself."
That's a fantastic quote.
Because if you gaze into the abyss gazes right back into you.
We're here to fight the monsters, Cross.
Why does this have to be the last episode?
And yeah, that's made us do some tough things.
It gets stronger and stronger.
But we had to.
And like as the show itself has chugged along, I've said during my reactions, the show's getting stronger and stronger. And one of my sort of complaints, or one of my things I said in the first couple episodes, is that I didn't buy into the characters themselves portraying their real life counterparts. Whereas in Band of Brothers in the Pacific, I always talk about, that's Garnier, that's Picante. I'm like, I forgot they were actors themselves. But as, like I said, the show has gone on, I've really bought in to Crosby being Crosby, Rosie being Rosie, Buck being Buck, Bucky being Bucky. I really think, like I said, I say it time and time again, the show has picked up some great momentum as it's gone along. And I find myself loving this show even more just as it's about to end. And it's a shame. We've only got halfway, or just over, we're just over halfway through this finale here. And this has been a fantastic episode. We're at that point, 43 minutes in, where this would usually end with the last episodes. And even though the episodes this series have been about 50 minutes, the usual length or the usual runtime for the Pacific Band of Brothers, these episodes themselves have been around the 40-minute mark, because you got to take into account the credits themselves and the mini preview it does for the next episode. So they're only really about 40-minute episodes. And now this episode at 43 minutes in would usually end by now for the previous episodes. But we've still got 38 minutes remaining. I'm guessing around half an hour with the credits. So listen, it's been a fantastic episode. Some real, dramatical, some real, emotional, impactful moments, especially with Rosie in the concentration camp. Some tense moments again with Bucky, and the boys doing the escape, the great escape themselves. And yeah, this episode continues to be great. But the only thing that's the only thing that's holding it down is it being the final episode, because I feel like they could have gone they could have gone longer with this show and explored more moments of World War II.
Yeah, that's made us do some tough things.
Like last episode, D-Day was completely glossed over.
But we had to. There's no other way. The things these people are capable of.
I was about to say he's seen the camps.
They got it coming. Trust me. They got it coming.
Fantastic performances all around, man. I hope Buck is not the only one to make it out of here. Like, obviously, we've lost George already. I hope Bill makes it with him. And I don't want it to be another situation of Buck being the lone survivor, similar to Bucky and the POWs getting killed.
We're Americans! Americans! We're American
Woo!
airmen! Keep your hands up!
We got two here. They say they're ours. They look like POWs.
All right, at ease.
That's some good news, man. It looks like Bill and Buck are going to be good. So many prisoner of war camps.
Thanks for the lift, guys.
Oh,
Welcome back. Crosby, they still got you at this dump.
Sure do. Major?
Rosie.
Good to have you back,
You know what?
Major. Welcome back.
Lemons. Gentlemen.
Good to have you back. You got a musette bag, Major?
No, I left that in the suite at the Starlight. What you see is what I've got. I gotta thank the CO for letting Hank pick me up in Paris.
We've been running a few shuttle missions the past couple weeks.
What's this for?
The Dutch are starving to death.
The Allies are dropping tons of food west and southwest of the Zuyder Zee.
Supposed to be a flak truce for the Germans, so no flak or AA guns. So far they've refused, but hell, we're flying anyway.
Still dangerous then. And Buck back home. Oh, at HQ, like.
Egan wouldn't let us ship it to your folks. Kept saying, I expect him back. My buddy's just MIA.
You got to have faith, player.
So Bucky didn't make the breakout with you, huh?
No. Bucky had to stay behind with the men.
He's okay, though, right?
Yeah, when you ever know him not to be okay.
Man, be careful not to hit the prisoners, man. Bro, they're on.
He's coming back!
They don't have home court advantage here, and they're cheering. The away fans are going off here. Yo, them P-51s are ruthless. The P-51 Mustangs don't F around, man. Told you. They're making it look like they have home court advantage. See, now it's inevitable that some prisoners might get caught in the crossfire here. Oh no, just do a complete riot on them, yeah? Why not? I wonder if this is actually factual. Whether there was a whole prison breakout like this, or they utilized the attack on the Stalag to their advantage. Oh yeah, this is in the intro to the show. You need to hoist the flag up. Yo, I'm surprised the Tuskegee have been sidelined a little bit this episode. Like, not much dialogue to Jefferson, the other guy, and Macon. Because I think they're great actors. I don't know if it's actually true. Whether Bucky Egan himself, as a POW, hoisted the flag. Or if this is another Hollywoodized moment. Hey, it's still badass, I'm not gonna lie. Are these Russians?
The camp and the village are yours. I will hand over my men disarmed in 30 minutes.
Dismissed.
Oh, they were American.
Colonel Clark, let's get him back.
I told you, man. They made a home court advantage. They turned that away game into a home game. Man, the actor who plays Macon is so good. I'm gonna message him on Insta after. I don't care if he replies or not. But I think, listen, I see potential. I see a bright future for that actor right there. He's great. It's a shame he doesn't get more time to shine. And listen, if this show had been 10 to 15 episodes, sorry, even like, not 10, but like 12 to 15, it could have been longer. And I want it to be longer now because I'm loving it.
Major?
But they are, and I get the feeling that, you know, in this episode, they wanted to wrap things up. Like a lot of, there's a lot of moving parts this episode, and a lot of them themselves are moving really quickly. And obviously in the episode Why We Fight in Band of Brothers, and I'm sorry to draw comparisons, obviously I feel like the moments in the concentration camps in that episode just hit me in the feels. It hit harder because I think they executed it much better, and I feel like it was executed well in this episode, but yet again it doesn't give you enough time to feel the impact of that scene, to feel the emotion of that scene. And listen, the actor who plays Rosie was phenomenal in that scene, but because there are so many moving parts this episode and we're trying to piece the puzzle together real quick, it's unfortunate that a lot of scenes don't get time to breathe. Like there was some great moments of tension with Bucky, Bill, and George escaping, but they're short-lived. Like that's quickly resolved. And I don't feel like the difficulty of traversing the German terrain right there with Bucky, Bill, and George was showcased. Obviously, I know George sadly perished at the hand of some German kids, young German soldiers. But I don't like that in itself could have been an episode, if that makes sense. Them getting out could have been an episode itself, because yeah, like I said, by the power of a few jump cuts, they were in a German town and it happened to be overrun by American soldiers, and just like that, he's back at camp. So yeah, it is what it is. A few moments are being glossed over, but it's still great nonetheless. There are so many moments in this episode, we still got 20 minutes left, that make you smile. And yeah, it's euphoric, it's triumphant, and you get the sense that these soldiers themselves have been on a journey. Not the journey per se as a Band of Brothers of Pacific, but still great.
Bars, and hey, look at this. First fresh oranges we've seen in months. Probably years for the Dutch.
Nice. Oh, Major.
Major.
Boss, let's go feed some people.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Went from dropping bombs to dropping aid kits. Let's go. I think Austin Butler's fantastic in this series, man. I don't care about the Elvis accent. He can keep it for as long as he does. I don't care. I don't feel like it's got better as the show's gone on as well.
Take the left seat. Well, always actually.
I'll get the general on the phone. No, I'm just kidding.
I think the Elvis accent itself hasn't been washed away. A lot of people in the comments in the first couple of episodes says it, you know, gets better as the show goes along. But I don't feel like he was able to shake it in time with Masters of the Air. Obviously, the latest thing I've seen him in is June 2, and he was fantastic in that. And I've yet to see The Bike Riders, and I think that looks fantastic. And I want to see Austin Butler and Tom Hardy in that. And there's some great other actors and actresses in that film as well. But listen, even though, you know, Austin Butler still has the Elvis accent, he's absolutely fantastic in this series. I just love Austin Butler. You know, there's so many characters in this show, or so many actors in this show that glue you to the screen. And yeah, Austin Butler is one of them. He's just fantastic. I'm sorry. And yeah, I've heard the complaints about the Elvis accent and him not shaking it off, but I don't care. I don't care. I need to go back and rewatch episode 1 and 2 to see how thick and strong the accent is compared to this episode or the last 2 episodes. But it's still great. I don't care. I don't care.
It's an honor. Ready pre-flight checks?
Never readier.
Form 1A?
Checked.
Controls and seats?
Check.
Ken? What the hell are you doing here? Buck says you can't think of a better flight engineer. Plus, thought I'd get a kick out of actually flying one of these things.
You never flown a plane before?
No, sir.
Hey, he deserves to be on this mission.
Ever?
Never. I took a boat over here in 43, and then, well, I never had a reason to fly.
Hey, at least he gets one mission under his belt. Does this count towards the 30 missions they need? Even though it's like an aid mission? T. Crosby, that's how you compose yourself on a flight. Not vomit and stuff.
Pilots, navigator, roger.
Are they gonna meet some sort of resistance here?
Go. Get ready, everybody. Approaching Valkenburg.
Because they said the Germans weren't holding to the truce.
Feel free to say a little prayer that they don't open fire.
Yeah.
If you're so inclined. Drop on your best guess, Doug.
Roger, man. Major.
Drop on your best guess. No calculations for this drop.
There you go, we did it.
The care packages have arrived.
Thanks, Yanks.
Clear Tower, this is Chowhound 1 requesting landing instructions. Over.
Chowhound 1, you were clear for overhead approach. Runway 281 at 1,200 indicated. Winds are 300.
Is that Bucky?
Altimeter 2996, over.
Clear up, Tower. Please repeat. Over.
You heard me.
Yeah, it was Bucky. I was like, wait.
I'll be damned.
I didn't hear that again. Wait. Yeah, even Austin Butler was like, what?
Tower, please repeat. Over.
Buck was like, huh?
You heard me the first goddamn time.
You heard me the first goddamn time. I'll be there. My guy went from Stalag the 7, I think, to HQ in a matter of that time. He teleported, man.
Look who it is. Stone in my shoe. Oh, I'm back. How's it feel being back up there?
Felt good.
Look who's back. Harry. Johnny Egan. How are you? Very good, sir. Good to see you. You too. Not still throwing up in there, are you? Good to have you back. Danny, how are you? Rosie, what a pleasure. Nice to see you. How are you?
We made a few of those supply drops in the last days of the war.
Supply drops.
And then, one day...
Yesterday morning,
at
2:41 a.m., signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied
that's Sandra.
Revolutionary Force.
Is that Sandra?
And
No,
simultaneously
my bad.
to the Soviet High Command. Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday the 8th of May. But in the interest of saving lives, the ceasefire began yesterday to be sounded all along the front and our dear Channel Islands.
Hey, such a feel-good episode, man. I had so many feel-good moments this episode. I don't care, man. I don't care if it's like... Oh. Nah, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. So many lives lost, man. Just sending flares up in the sky. We don't have fireworks, but we have flares. Why not? Why not? Just full send it.
At first, it felt unreal, impossible, unimaginable.
Exactly, like...
And then, inevitable. We were going home.
I get what Crosby's echoing here.
All of us.
I
had a wife to see.
It's actually insane.
Son.
The transition, when like you're so used to the day-to-day missions, you're so used to like the horrific experiences, you're so used to fighting, and you conditioned your brain, or you've conditioned yourself to be used to war, and you had that little bit of exploration in the episode with Rosie doing his R&R for 5 days, and that was only like a 5-day break, and he was struggling to get used to it. And obviously, I don't think we have enough time right here with 18 minutes left to explore their struggles of, trying to adjust to day-to-day life. But we've seen it in the Pacific. And I love that the Pacific episode, the Pacific Home episode, the final episode, dealt with those struggles of adjusting to day-to-day life. And you can't put a timestamp on it happening. And listen, the more I watch these type of shows, my respect goes through the roof for every one of these individuals who served during World War II and World War One. And I loved Masters of the Air. I know it's too early to be saying this, but I said it before. The show has grown on me in a way that I didn't think it would. And listen, I've had my complaints, and I don't think it reaches the heights of Band of Brothers, definitely, because that's the gold standard, or the Pacific, in my opinion. But I still think it is great in its own right. And listen, there are so many feel-good moments. There are so many, obviously, tragic moments in this series. But there's also the ones that are feel good, like Band of Brothers, like the Pacific. You laugh, you smile with these guys. There's that camaraderie, there's that chemistry there. You cry with them, you feel emotional with them, and it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And listen, you think to yourself as well, like the more I watch these type of shows, like with Band of Brothers and the Pacific, I was contemplating those shows for a while. I was contemplating them outside my reactions, and that's what a great show does. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm watching it for the camera, it's done, I edit it, it's processed, that's it, it's on the channel. Band of Brothers in the Pacific, I was actually thinking of outside of my reactions, and I was thinking to myself, like, we have it easy in life. Like, we actually do. These were horrific times. And you think to yourself, you have World War One in the period it was, then 20 years later, World War II starts, and these guys, go back to their normal lives. And then I think in the 60s was the Vietnam War, I believe. So like 15 years later, again, America is at war. Then you have the Cold War, and then it's absolutely insane. And I'm interested to see whether these soldiers themselves, some of them, whether they served in the Vietnam War, whether they decided to return and fight for their country, because I don't know too much on the behind the scenes. I don't know too much of what happened in the Vietnam War itself. But I wonder if these soldiers, who had fought in World War II, bore arms again, whether they decided to go enlist again, or some of them might have continued and served in the army, like in Band of Brothers. So it'll be interesting to see. I want to do my research on all the characters, because it'd be interesting to see whether they had, some of them might have adjusted to normal life again, and then saw the opportunity to go back to war with the Vietnam War and went in their 30s and 40s. So it'd be interesting to see. Like, I want to do heaps of research on it.
A life to start.
I better see you at Minton's when I get back. Oh, I'll be there. You can bring the little guy. You're gonna bring my infant son to a jazz club? Hey, it's never too early.
Hey, you're a good narrator, Crosby. You did well, man. Rosie's such a badass, man. Honestly, look at the looks he has, man. Like, he just oozes charisma. Like, he oozes badassery. Awesomeness, as Kung Fu Panda would say. Just gangster. Hunted proof. See ya, boys. And just as the show began to grow on me, I feel like the actors themselves, like I said in the beginning of the episode, grew into the characters they were playing more and more. It got better as the show went along.
This is it.
This is it.
Ready to go home.
You ready to see March? Form 1A.
Checked.
Controls and seats.
Check.
Fuel transfer valves and switch.
Oh.
Leaving a lot of good men behind.
I'm a brave man.
Man, imagine the conversations they had on those flights home. Like, oh.
Gear up.
90.
Here we come. Time to gear up.
Such a great finale. Such a really great finale. I wish we had some sort of wrap up for the Tuskegee boys as well. I mean, they just got introduced last episode, and I like them. I said it again. I'm saying it again. I don't care. But obviously, these are the main boys we followed across the entire series. But, you know, they introduced them, and I thought they were really cool characters, and it's a shame they didn't get much screen time. Or we don't get to see their perspective of going home. At least, come on, man. A couple minutes. Come on. That's a beautiful shot with the crashed bomber and with those going home. You know, some never made it out alive. Some went down with their planes. That was a great wide shot right there. Here we go. Left the Air Force in 1945 as a lieutenant colonel, returned to Gene and their son Steve. Received a PhD in literature from Stanford University in 1953. After teaching at the University of Iowa for several years, he and Gene moved to Massachusetts with their 4 children. Damn! Crosby taught at Boston and Harvard universities for more than 30 years. Harry and Gene served as co-presidents of the PTA at every school their children attended. Harry Crosby's memoir about his experiences during World War II was published in 1993. Harry was 91 when he passed away in 2010. Alexander Jefferson. I wanted more of him! Oh, man. Remained on active duty with the Air Force until December 1947 when he joined the Air Force Reserve. That same year, he moved back to Detroit with his wife Adela and became a science teacher. He taught in the Detroit public school system for over 30 years. These are the moments that get me here. These are the moments where I get teary-eyed. Jefferson retired from the Air Force Reserve as a lieutenant colonel. He was a founding member of both the Detroit and national chapters of the Tuskegee Airmen. Alexander Jefferson passed away in June 2022. He was 100 years old. My guy made the century. Damn. 2 years ago. Richard Macon. My guy. Listen. Oh, man. I talked about some sort of wrap up for them. At least we're getting this. Was promoted to captain following his liberation from Moosburg. He left the Air Force in December 1945, Macon established a flight school when he returned to Birmingham, Alabama. After earning a master's degree in mathematics at Indiana University, he returned to Alabama to work at something college. Fire out. In 1955, Macon joined his friend Alexander Jefferson in Detroit and began his career as a public school teacher. Richard Macon and Alexander Jefferson remained friends until Macon died in 2007 at the age of 86. Richard Macon is buried... Come on, man. I need to read faster. Robert Rosie Rosenthal. My G. I mean, without the mustache, he looks really alike. was training to pilot B-29s in the Pacific when the Japanese surrendered in August 1945. After the war, Rosie helped prosecute Nazi war criminals at the Nuremberg trials. He integrated leading figures in German military high command, including High Command Marshal Hermann Goering, the head of the Luftwaffe, sorry. On his way to Nuremberg, Rosie met Phyllis Heller, a fellow prosecutor. They were married less than 2 weeks later. 2 weeks! What? They had 3 children. Big up Rosie, man. 2 weeks! Damn, man. For his service, Robert Rosenthal was awarded 2 Silver Stars, 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses, 2 Purple Hearts, and a British Distinguished Flying Cross, and the Croix de Guerre from France. The 52 missions he flew during the war were the most flown by any member of the 100th Bomb Group. Rosie died in 2007. He was 89 years old. Big up Rosie. Come on, give me Bucky. Gail Buck Cleven, my G. I love these moments, man. I'm sorry. He remained in the Air Force and served in both the Korean and Vietnam Wars. He retired a full colonel. Yeah, I was just talking about the Vietnam Wars. Sorry, I forgot about the Korean one. But Cleven earned both an MBA from Harvard and a PhD from Georgetown University. Buck married Marjorie Spencer within a month of returning to the United States after the war. John Egan was the best man. Marge died unexpectedly in 1953. She had been married to Gail for 8 years. Her photograph was still on his mantle 53 years later when he passed away at the age of 87. Oh, man. John Bucky Egan. Stayed in the Air Force after the war. One evening after returning to Meadowlark, he ran into a high school acquaintance, Joseph Plitz, who was also still in uniform as a WASP woman Air Force service pilot. Freaking... They were married a few months later. Okay, what's with the marriage? Like, I know it's the time period, man. Marriages happen like that. Just like that, man. No problems whatsoever. Nowadays, oh my gosh. Colonel Egan flew combat missions during the Korean War. He eventually became director of Air Force operations for the entire Pacific area. He was working at the Pentagon when he died of a heart attack in 1961. He was 45 years old. Josephine passed away in 2006. They were buried together. That one hurts. Why am I getting teary-eyed? Fuck! Well, we are going to do the documentary after this, ladies and gentlemen. The Bloody 100th. And I will watch that right after... Not right after this episode. I want to go and edit this finale and get it up to you guys. Get it up for you guys, sorry. But I will be watching the Bloody 100th before I start Generational Kill, because I really want to start that series as well. I hope you guys enjoy my reaction to the finale, man. I think this show was cut short, unfortunately. There are so many things I wish they would have explored more, and I find myself wanting more as the series ends. I find myself, you know, wishing the show didn't have its production problems it did. I find myself wanting to spend more time with these characters. Oh, man. So many strong moments. So many strong moments. Yes, I have my complaints. I said that before. There are a few issues in this show. Obviously, a lot of, I'm guessing, you know, historical inaccuracies as well. Band of Brothers and the Pacific got a few wrong as well, I think, with the characters. But at the same time, there are so many, you know, heartfelt moments, so many feel-good moments as well. And I think it's a well put together show. Listen, I'm guessing some of the comments may be ruthless, and I've seen ruthless comments on this show, absolutely ruthless comments, saying, you know, this show doesn't do those men justice. And I get why they are frustrated, because of, you know, the show possibly glossing over a lot of events and rushing over its pacing being really fast paced, and not spending the time on certain events that deserve not spending the time on certain events that's required for those sort of depicting those events, sorry. And yeah, you even saw with D-Day itself, the event of D-Day completely being from the perspective of Crosby this season, or this miniseries, who had passed out during that event, and obviously was awake to be sort of retold what happened by Rosie, and we only get that for a few seconds. We get that one wide shot of all the ships and the bombers in the sky, and that's all we get of that event. So I can see how, you know, some people would have been disrespected by the show depicting it that way. And I really understand a lot of people's frustrations with, you know, certain depictions of the characters, some moments possibly, like I say, Hollywoodized in a way, and, you know, just there for dramatical purposes. And one of those sequences was the event with Bucky and, you know, the POWs being killed. And listen, that was an event that actually happened, but Bucky himself wasn't present. And one of the comments was saying the families themselves of those victims were actually disappointed in the way that was portrayed. So yeah, listen, there are a few gripes you can have with the show, but I still think it was a really solid experience. I enjoyed it, and it found its momentum, but it's a shame that momentum was cut short, because I would have loved to have spent time with all these characters. You could have got a full episode on the Tuskegee themselves. You could have got a full episode, like I was saying, on, you know, Buck, Bill and George escaping themselves, and then making their way to that town. So it's unfortunate it had to be that way, due to the production issues this show had. And I understand they had to probably rush a lot of it out, but I still think with the constraints they had, I still think they did a pretty good job. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, it's been your boy Elie Moses. Take care. God bless. Peace.